maintenance.
Mechanical issues are gonna crop up no matter what. It's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Essential for your bike to keep cranking through life.
Awesome. I mean, this is home to me. All these little toys. It's like a toy shop.
At Outpost Richmond, familiar face, Brantley Tyndall gives his trusty cycle much needed
I spent about
TLC.
4,300 miles on this tire.
Tyndall knows the rigors of the road better than anyone.
Personally, around Richmond and Virginia, I bike more for transportation than I drive.
The cycle safety advocate for sports backers sees RVA from a different perspective.
It's a multifaceted kind of process for making the road safer for people to bike and walk, and sometimes that's focusing on bike infrastructure.
But Brantley isn't your average Sunday cyclist. The VCU graduate challenges himself to go far, really far.
I love being out in nature.
Several months ago, Brantley, on a whim, biked 24 hours straight.
And I rode 380 miles in that time.
Not even that satisfied his hunger for distance.
A lot of the roads that I raced on were extremely remote.
Brantley set his sights on something bigger.
I thought how cool it would be to race across the country but also finish home, almost.
Last month, Brantley started the Trans Am bike race,
This is a wonderful river shot. We're kind of leaving the coast at this point in Oregon.
which stretches across 10 states, from Oregon to Virginia.
I was taking pictures here with some of the riders.
The race attracts nearly 80 of the best endurance riders from around the globe.
So here's a picture of me with the leader.
The rules? Just you and your bike.
Everyone who raced the Trans Am bike race, they fixed their bike on their own, they bought all their own supplies. On your left.
Conditions along the way were less than ideal.
Riding 4 hours in a snowstorm in Montana was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I got hypothermia.
Brantley is a very, I would say, physically strong, but more importantly, a very determined cyclist.
Back at Outpost Richmond, friend Braden Gavoni lent moral support,
Oh, here you go. Here's the one about taking the butter knife.
even FedExing bike parts to Brantley.
Well, I definitely answered a lot of text messages at odd hours.
Basically, the only thing that got me up in the morning, because my body didn't want to wake up, was knowing that the race was always on.
Sleep deprivation and loneliness were constant companions.
Your body just runs out of energy, and your mind starts to kind of slip away from consciousness.
For 21 days, Brantley pedaled with seemingly no end in sight.
When you're 1,000 miles away and you have 3,200 miles to go, you're not thinking about Yorktown, you're thinking about tomorrow.
Finally, on June 24th, a sore and spent Brantley crossed into Virginia.
This is me at the line with the sign.
Supporters, including his biggest inspiration, greeted him in Yorktown with open arms.
This is me at the finish with my mom.
When he was in high school, Brantley's mother was hit by a drunk driver and paralyzed.
It was great to be able to give her a hug at the finish line.
She was with her son every mile of his extended journey.
I brought one of her rings with me on a necklace, and so I wanted to kind of close to me and close to my consciousness the whole time.
First place may have eluded Brantley,
Yeah, I spent 267 hours on it in 3 weeks.
but that was secondary.
So to see him make it back just safe, safe and sound, that was the best part.
It feels like an achievement.
Brantley Tyndall, satisfied just knowing he conquered his longest ride to date.
It was worth it. It was worth it to get across the country to do something that's epic and wild and once in a lifetime kind of opportunity.
For now, it's time to repair and rehabilitate
This chain has about 2,500 miles on it.
both bike and body. Out of the 75 riders who participated in the Trans Am bike race from Oregon to Virginia, Brantley finished in 12th place. For now, Brantley will keep his eyes on improving bike safety all across RVA while working for sports backers, and he's not ruling out long-distance rides in the future. I'm Greg McQuaid, CBS 6 News.